The second technology that I'll be discussing this evening is Exit Ticket, which is found at exittix.com. It is a website that provides quick informal assessments for any topic that you need. They're easy to grade, and the data is provided right then when the students complete them. You can tailor the content for whatever course or topic that you're discussing that day. It's not generic like some other websites or programs that are out there, which I thought was nice. You can tailor-made the questions to fit exactly what you're discussing that day in class. And there's a timer built in, which I think is important, especially if you're using it as an exit ticket, that you don't want it to run long, and the kids need to know that they have just a certain amount of time to finish those questions because they need to get to their next class. The purpose of this type of program is that the data, it drives our instruction, the data that it provides, and it allows for more frequent informal assessments. I know I often struggle getting those quick informal assessments done in class, but I think they're very valuable and so often provide more insight into a student's learning and understanding than some formal assessments do. We all know that student who freaks out on a test because you're calling it a test, but if you were to have a conversation with them, they would have a better understanding of the information. And the immediacy of the feedback, it's instantaneous. You can watch the students as they're taking the quiz or assignment or whatever you want to call that exit ticket. The audience that this is intended for is definitely teachers. I think all grade level, probably second grade through high school, could implement this. You can tailor-made the questions to whatever content and whatever level your students are working at. You could even have different level questions for different groups of students. You could put them into different classes or groups when you organize them. And I think administrators would find this beneficial because of the data that it provides to ensure that teachers are aligning their lessons to data in these informal assessments. When looking at the teaching standards, the ISTE teacher standards, I would say that this tool is aligned with Standard 2, Section D, because it provides students with multiple varied formal and informal assessments and provides data to determine instruction. It also aligns with Standard 5D because it contributes to the effectiveness, vitality, and self-renewal of the teaching profession. We all like tools that help make our job easier, and I think this is one of those because it grades the assessment for you and it's deriving the data that you need to plan your lesson for the next day. So I think both of those would make a classroom teacher more effective and probably even an administrator more effective because the data is there for them, that they don't have to go and search it and organize it. So I think that's definitely a benefit. I'll now go to Exit Ticket's website. I have already logged in under teacher mode, and you can see that I have a sample class here. And then this first hour class, this is the one that I have put the quizzes that we're going to look at today, these exit tickets. We've just been playing around with it. So if you want to look at today's assessments, we can open that up. And we had one that was the literary element, and so one person has taken that, and then we have one that still needs to be taken. If I go in to add we'll look at how we do that new assessment. That I'm going to go into the new assessment tab up here, and we can do the launch a pre-assessment or practice. We'll click on whichever we choose to do, and we can title it, short stories. This is what my students are working on right now in class. We have a short story unit. Do we want it timed? We'll give them 3 minutes. I think that's good. This won't be very long. Do we want to show them the correct answer? Yeah, we do. We want them to know what they missed. and we'll show the results. We don't need to randomize it. I'll randomize it when I make the questions. So then we click on questions. We want to make them multiple choice or free response. We can do free response. If we want to do a specific story that we've read, we could label it A Sound of Thunder. This is one of the stories that we have read in my class recently. We can ask, who was Eccles? And then it will give them a blank to write their answer. And I will put in Eccles disrupted the future. Okay, and it automatically, we save up here. Oh, we need to select a class section. This is, let's see. I don't know where that's at. Here we go. We want to add that to first hour English. We'll save that. Okay. We can go to the questions. We can save that. So then our assessment was saved. So then we can go back to this page and we can see that we have these different tests in there. So we can look at the scorebook for this first assessment that I gave, and we can see that Logan 2000 got 2 questions right and he missed 1, and that it was in February, and that he got a 67 for that assessment. Okay, so that's a good scorebook. And then if we want to go back to the assessments, or if we wanted to create a new class, so I can select my school, and it would be English Eaton, and then we're going to add second period. And you don't need to put in a class ID number, and we can save that. So then it'll show that new class there. So I'm going to have my son, who's sitting in here getting ready, he's going to take the quiz, and we'll see if he does better this time around than he did the first time around. So I'm going to go in and make this short story elements. We're going to make that visible, is what you need to do, so that the students can see it. And then we'll go back, and I should be able to go to assessments. And the students can add themselves. You get a class code when you start a new course, when you log in, and they get that and they can log in with that. So I believe, is it ready for him to go? Okay, just, can you wait a sec? I'm gonna try and see if we can watch this as you're taking it. We should be able to see his progress as he moves through the quiz. Okay, so we're looking at today's assessment. Okay, so go ahead. There we go. So now we can see all of the things that we've assigned in this. This is the quiz that he's now taking. And you can see it's starting to turn blue as he's working on those questions. So that internet connection. So now you can see that he's finished that. So that we know the one student of one has completed it, and his average still for the today is a 67, which is unlike him. Are you taking the other short story quiz? The practice? Sure, if you want to go ahead, then he's going to start the practice so we can see. Do I need to make that visible, or can you start it? Okay. So you can see here as they're completing them what the percentage for the class is. You can also add students manually if you want to do that from your class rosters. But I think it's probably easier to have the students log in and then they know their username instead of you keeping though it probably is beneficial to get a list of usernames and tell your students to use the same username for all of these types of programs that you're implementing in class. There's lots of things on here that you can change to projector mode. One of the tutorials I watched, apparently they've changed the program, and this used to be easier to get to, and so again it shows those results from all the things that they've done. So we see that one has been completed, but 0 have mastered that short story question, probably because he hasn't read that short story. So those would be indicative of not having read the story. There's lots of ways to play around with this, and I certainly plan on implementing this in my class as an easier way to conduct an exit ticket. I think it'll engage my students more that last few minutes of class, and again, it'll provide me with that instant data that I can use to help drive my instruction for the next day.